Hey guys, it's Jazz here from the Bassmaster app. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down that slap bass line you just heard step by step, and this is the perfect bass line if you're just getting into playing slap bass and you're just getting the fundamental kind of thumb technique and plucking technique. So this is a great place to start. And make sure you stay to the end of this video, as once I've taught you the slap bass line, I'll show you how you can apply what you've learned today to your practice routine. Now, before I get into this lesson, I just want to let you know there is a link below this video where you can go and download a free PDF worksheet. This PDF I've created for you breaks down everything we're going to cover in today's lesson. Also, if you're new to the channel and you have not yet subscribed, you're definitely going to want to go and do that, because I upload videos every week about bass and music in general. So let's quickly look at the harmony behind the bass line. So the bass line is in E minor, and it's going to be using we're going to be using the E Dorian scale. So the E Dorian scale is E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E. And the fingering I'm using for that is first finger, third finger, fourth finger, first finger, fourth finger, first finger, second finger, fourth finger, and the same going back down. So a lot of slap bass lines feature the pentatonic scale. Now this bass line features the E minor pentatonic scale. So the quick way to get a pentatonic scale is, if you know your E minor scale, just get rid of the 6th degree of the scale and the 2nd degree of the scale, and then you have a 5-note scale, and that is your minor pentatonic scale. So an E minor pentatonic scale is E, G, A, B, D, and E. And the fingering I'm using in the left hand is first finger, fourth finger, first finger, fourth finger, first finger, fourth finger. So now all the harmony is out of the way, let's start playing the slap bass line. So let's look at the first part. I'll play it really slowly. So again. So I'm playing with my thumb on the E string, and then a muted note. So I'm not actually playing a note, I'm just resting my left hand on the fingerboard, and I'm playing with my thumb in my right hand. And that's beats 1 and beats 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And you could just practice that in isolation as an exercise if you want. 1, 2. And then the next part of the bass line. Now I'm playing a C sharp, so that's 4th fret of the A string, and 5th fret of the A string, the D. I'm playing them both with my first finger in the left hand. And I'm playing both notes with my thumb in the right hand. You can also play it with your first and second finger if you want. I like to play it with my first finger because then it sets me up nicely for the next part of the bass line. I don't want to slide. Each note is separate, but if I play it with my first finger, it sets me up for the next part, which is, so that's a hammer on there. So hammer on the 5th fret on the A string to the 7th fret on the A string, which is a D to an E. As you can see here. So I play the first note of my thumb, and then I hammer on to the E with my 4th finger in the left hand. So and if you're new to hammer-ons, again, just practice that part in isolation. So after the hammer-on, you play another open E. And when you play the open E, to get a nice clean sound, I tend to rest my left hand on the other strings, so I don't get I get the other strings ringing. I don't want that. I want a nice clean, precise sound. So after the hammer on, down to the E. So the whole bass line, or the whole first bar, is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that low E is the first beat of the second bar. So if you've got the PDF downloaded, you'll see that low E right on the first beat. So that's the first bar. And there's 2 notes on the E there. So after the hammer on, and then there's another hammer on, but this time we pluck. So we hammer on the D to the E, first finger, fourth finger, and we pluck. So we pluck the D and hammer on to the E. And then we go straight back down to the E. So after the first hammer on, you play 2 open E's, and then you do another hammer on, but you pluck this time instead of play with your thumb. So, and then after that hammer on, you play another 2 open E strings. So the first 2 bars, really slowly, are like this. What I would do if I was learning this bass line, I would actually find the tricky bits or the weaknesses, and then I would just kind of loop them as an exercise. So I'd create an exercise out of the bass line, and then when I come to put the whole bass line together, it will flow a lot better. So again, the first 2 bars. So the first 2 bars you've just learnt are very similar to the second 2 bars. The first bar and the third bar are actually exactly the same. So the second part of this bass line starts exactly the same. So that is all exactly the same, and then it slightly changes at the end. So and then we do the hammer on, plucking the hammer on to the D to the E. So that, but we only do 1. After we do this hammer on, we only play 1 E on the E string. And then we go straight to the 3rd fret of the E string, which is a G. Play that with our thumb. And then we play an octave, which is super common in slap bass playing, to play octaves. And so I play the low G with my thumb, and I play the octave with my first finger plucking. And I do the exact same thing starting on the 5th fret, so the A, and that's it. So that's the last part of the bass line. So all together, so the first part and the second part, I'll play it really slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, if you were to loop the whole bass line, you would go and it would loop around. You will see on the PDF there's actually repeat marks, which just means that you repeat those 4 bars. So after every lesson, I will always give you a Bassmaster mission to solidify what we've covered in today's lesson. And so you know exactly what to work on after this video ends, and you can apply what you've learnt today to your practice routine. So today's Bassmaster mission is to first download the PDF below, so you can click on the link, make sure you've got all the right techniques. Is it a thumb? Is it a hammer-on? Are you plucking? Make sure all the techniques are right and in the right place. After you've downloaded PDF, then practice the bass line slowly, focusing on getting a good sound from the instrument. You can then gradually work up to 90 BPM, 90 beats per minute, because that is the tempo of this particular bass line. And then finally, once you feel comfortable playing the bass line at 90 BPM, then you can go and practice and play along to the drum loop I've created specifically for this bass line. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and click on the little bell icon so you never miss any future videos. And if you want to take your bass playing to the next level, then click on the link below to download the Bassmaster app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, so you can get instant access to hours of free bass lessons and bass resources. You'll also be able to find the drum loop from today's lesson in the Bassmaster app. But until then, have an awesome day, and I will see you next week.